Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com. If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan, it's Unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
And now, here are your hosts.
Welcome to Unregimented number 266. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Rich.
Oh, and
I'm devastated.
Weekend. By what?
Take the takedown of BuzzFeed, America's standard of journalism.
Yeah.
Oh, what a failure! Boy, do they have egg on their face.
Yeah.
I know we're a little behind on this one, but it ties kind of into a bigger ongoing story of just media in general that Rich and I were talking about the other day. But yeah, obviously this whole BuzzFeed nonsense. I don't understand. I understand the impulse to want to believe things that are negative about somebody that you don't like. I get that. But to consider it just because it's printed somewhere, it has to be true. I don't understand why all of a sudden BuzzFeed was for half a day. Everyone was buying this shit.
Yeah. The fact that Mueller, who has been mute for a year and a half, had to come out and go, hey, this is bullshit. Right.
Mueller's whole team has been very tight-lipped. And
all this story did was help him, and he even went, no, don't believe this.
Right. Well, because it probably doesn't line up with anything that they have. So I don't think it really would help them. If it helped them at all, I think they would have just remained silent. Consider the amount of mindless speculation that we've heard from, not just from random people, but from legitimate news sources about what could happen with this investigation. And Mueller has said absolutely nothing about it.
You mean the website that has a quiz that tells you what character of the Big Bang Theory you are? Right. Isn't news.
Yeah, it's BuzzFeed is one step, and it's not even a full step above Vice News. And I'm not talking about Vice News on HBO, their specials. I'm talking about their online news media that's
totally different thing. Yeah.
They have such insightful articles as how to go down on a non-op trans female. It's called Suck a Dick. It's what it's called. It's called Sucking Dick. You're not eating out nobody. You're sucking a dick. Okay? This is the beauty of what we live, the times we live in now. If you agree with the story, it's a valid news source. That's all that matters. If you disagree with the story, it's not valid. Doesn't matter. And as long as there's no face-to-face exchange going on, you can just quote these sources over the internet all day, and when you get tired of being called out, you just bow out of the conversation and you just declare yourself the winner.
It's turned into publish first, validate later.
Well, we've been burned by that on Scorchy a few times.
If it's true, we were first. If it's not, the news cycle's short. People forget by tomorrow.
And the art of the retraction is dead pretty much, especially for online anything, it seems like. It's very rare to see any news story that is reported false, that turns out to be false, for there to be an online retraction.
Yeah.
or at least one of any consequence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's not really anything to be gained by a retraction, right? I mean, people are going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, no one remembers the retraction anyway, unless you make it. But
Yeah.
but you generally also don't make as much big a deal about the retraction as you do the initial story.
I think that the reaction to this has, it's shown what the general public is really concerned about, which is they don't like Donald Trump and they want him out of office.
Duh.
Hear me out.
Have we received this message?
But that is, as much as that is an issue for me as well, if you're at all concerned about this country in general, then your primary concern should be how much influence Russia had in all this. So just getting Trump on obstruction of justice does nothing to unravel the story of how Russia is involved in our politics. And through unraveling that story is how we're going to prevent it from happening in the future and not getting another Trump. So it's kind of short-sighted to say, oh, we got him on obstruction, we can get him out of office, and then we can all move on with our lives. I mean, honestly, even if there was a continuing investigation into Russia, that's going to be the secondary story to the president being impeached and being removed from office, if that does happen. So I think regardless of, I don't even know if maybe this story was true and Mueller's team was just trying to discredit it because they don't want to settle for simple obstruction charges. They're looking at the whole package, and that's what needs to happen. I mean, ideally, I'll take just Trump being kicked out of office. Believe me, if that's all that we get, that's fine. But ideally, I want to see this happen. Whether, if he was influenced by Russia, then that's the reason that I want him removed from office, not for something else. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, and.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone jumping on to want to believe the story, and it's like I open up Twitter, I see everyone's reactions to it, and all I can think of is the Last Week Tonight, John Oliver skit that got so old that he just stopped doing it. The We Got Him.
Yeah.
Where he hits the button and the streamers and the balloons and all that come down, and that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking like, really, BuzzFeed, you're bringing down okay. And the other thing,
how many times can you just set yourself up for disappointment? Mm-hmm. Like you're these people are like little kids whose father went away 2 years ago to get cigarettes and never came back, and they're sitting there going, "This is the day when that door opens. That's going to be my daddy," and it's not your daddy.
Sorry, I'm thinking of
how many times are you going to put yourself through this?
I'm thinking of the meme that's got two little kids, one white kid, one black kid. The white kid's like cowering, the black kid's got his fist up, and he goes, "I told you he went to the store for cigarettes. He'll be back any minute." Oh, that's some good racism. Okay.
To Aaron, I'm reminded of the whole situation when he fed the fish in Japan.
Right.
It's like you don't have to manufacture something. Something will be along shortly.
Right. And this whole situation with what's his name? Sandman?
The guy from the Apollo that sweeps people off the stage?
Yeah, that guy.
I can't play Enter Sandman while we talk about him.
Yeah, I know. Right. I mean, the same thing's happening with this story, the kid and the Native American and the protests and all this. I mean, it's the fish feeding all over again. We see one short clip that we believe tells us everything.
And everyone was a fucking hero on Twitter on Saturday. Oh my God.
We all have an opinion about it.
Everyone was so disgusted and enraged.
I guess I'm an idiot because I didn't know, and I told Aaron this when we talked about it earlier this week. I didn't know anything about the story, and all of a sudden, I just started seeing memes pop up of this kid staring at a Native American with like a hand drum, and he's in a MAGA hat with a smirk, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Did I fall asleep for like a week and miss something? Like, and that's how quick the shit blew up. It was Saturday afternoon.
And trust me, I was judgy initially. My initial reaction was like, hey, nice parents. When I initially saw the initial rumblings of this story. Right. How they were supposedly chanting, build the wall and all this shit. I'm like, oh, my first reaction was nice parents.
But
good job.
Yeah, everyone's got their own little piece of the truth in this story, though. It's not that anyone's 100% wrong on how it happened. Nothing really happened here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right?
I've heard another podcast that's what they're saying too. Like, this is nothing happened.
It's not a fucking story. It's a story. The reaction to it has been a story, but in and of itself, the event is a non-news event.
If you watch the hour and 45-minute tape, nothing happens really.
Right. It's just that people see something in that. They see when most people look at that, they see a Native American person expressing themselves in traditional ways and a little shit getting in his face and just fucking with them.
You know what it is?
It's
an opportunity for White Knight Whitey.
You know what it is? This is a national Rorschach test. You see your bias when you look at this story.
Call.
You see your bias. And it brings out, it has brought out the bias in every single person I've talked to. I can clearly see which way they lean based on their initial reaction to this story.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's reaction who are anti-Trump looked at this kid in the MAGA hat and said, this is what these people are raising. This is the product of Trump supporters, that they're raising assholes. And I just, I saw it. I thought the kid looked like an asshole. I just thought he was a good old fashioned teenager. Right.
Yeah. Like, I remember being that age. You're like generally just an asshole.
That's what I'm talking. Like, that was kind of my first reaction. A little bit uncomfortable because I saw a little myself in that kid. Everyone's been that. Not that I was some hardcore Republican as a teenager, or even really gave a shit about politics, but just that, fucking with other people, teenage thing. That's all it really is. And if you don't know, what happened before the footage that we saw, the pictures and the video taken just show those two in each other's face. And it's assumed that people are assuming that this guy is just sitting there drumming. He's just standing around drumming, and this kid walks up and gets into his face. It was, in fact, the opposite. It was the Indian man who was getting in his face in trying to break tension between them and the other group, the Black Israelites?
Yes.
Hebrew Israelites.
Hebrew Israelites, sorry.
Or maybe they're called the Black Israelites, because Hebrew doesn't make sense if they're black. Yours makes more sense. Now I have to look it up. God damn it.
They consider themselves to be the true chosen people. Black people are the true chosen people, the true Jews. Okay. That white Jews are blah, blah, blah. It's.
Let's just call them HeBros.
HeBros. The G.I. Jew. A real American Hebrew.
Man.
They're called the black. Hey, look. Hey, they're called the Black Hebrew Israelites. We're both right.
You're both right. That's the thing. You both had a piece of the truth.
But I mean, I did see footage of the exchange between the HeBros and the MAGA Bros, and it was. I mean, let's put it this way: if it wasn't a bunch of hit the weight pile brothers talking that shit to a group, that'd have been their ass, because they were like, you inbred, lice-infested, filthy animals, blah, blah, blah. That's all you are, you white pieces of shit. And it's like, what? What? You know, like...
Yeah, they were talking some seriously nasty racist shit to these kids.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, there was like 50 of these kids and 5 of those guys. The problem is, these guys were built like Michael Clark Duncan in the fucking... You know what I'm saying? Like, those are some big boys. They know that they're getting away with some shit because they're built that way.
Do that. Hey, don't be doing that when the University of Nebraska visits the White House. I bet you're not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like these, it's like if you've ever looked into the Nation of Islam, the Fruit of Islam is their security force. The Fruit of Islam does not fuck around. They don't care who you are. If they feel that you pose a threat to anybody who's part of the Nation of Islam, they'll take your ass to the curb in a heartbeat. And they are not gentle about it. And they're trained to do that. They are basically a private security force for the Nation of Islam. And I mean, I remember these guys, these black Hebrew, whatever the fuck, standing outside of
HeBros.
the HeBros, standing outside of Howard Stern's radio studio when he was on terrestrial radio. And he would every once in a while send someone like Stuttering John down, to egg him on. And he, so what do you think of the white man? And then he'd stick a mic in their face and they'd go off, and white man was created by the devil and all this shit. And, typical racist shit from a racist human being. That's really all it is. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the fact that in this entire story, no one's even talking about that. And that is the catalyst that caused Nathan Phillips to go over and start beating his drum to get in between these two groups of people. And it's like, how could you leave out the spark that started the story? Oh, because it doesn't fit your narrative that you're trying to push. Gotcha.
Hey, which is a better band name? Well, Nick Sandman in the HeBros or Nathan... whatever his name in the HeBros.
Nathan Phillips in the HeBros.
Nathan Phillips in the HeBros.
I'll go with Nathan Phillips, yeah.
My new jazz combo.
Right. So at first everyone thought that the MAGA bro approached the Native American and fucked with them. And they were like, that kid's an asshole, right? So then we find out that it was the Native American that approached the kid. And so now the right goes, that Native American's an asshole. Wait a minute. I mean, yeah, maybe, but
Vietnam Times veteran.
Like, all you have to do is hear the actual facts of what happened, and it seems pretty clear why this Native American his name's Nathan. Was that it?
Nathan Phillips, yeah.
Nathan. Okay, it's pretty clear why Nathan did this. Yeah, he was kind of being an asshole in the way he was being a little bit aggressive. In that he's going to go up and play his drum in your face, right? Why would he do that? It's just a distraction, right? It's just to say, let's break this shit up. Nobody came here to see a bunch of white teenagers get wailed on, and if they keep running their mouths, it just might happen. And it was a way to diffuse the situation. But no, the right now is slandering Nathan Phillips. Oh, he has a criminal record. And the thing
is,
that's what we do now.
Facts are facts, and they don't give a fuck about anyone's feelings. He is a Marine. He was a Marine reservist. Mm-hmm. He served from 72 to 76, I believe.
Okay.
On his DD-214, which is his discharge papers, it states that he went AWOL 3 times. It states that he never served in Vietnam. The last Marine combat unit left Vietnam in 71, I believe. So if he joined in 72, by the time he went through boot camp, School of Infantry, his MOS training, I'd imagine there were no Marines except for at, brain fart. The ones that guard the embassies and stuff.
You could just make it up. I won't know.
Well, no, but I mean, there's a difference between Marines that guard embassies and Marines that are combat units in the field. And he wasn't a combat Marine, period, end of story. Now, to be honest, I haven't heard him claim to say he was a combat Marine, but I've heard a lot of people in the so-called media claiming that he was, he he fought in Vietnam for our freedom as a Marine. It's like, first of all, no one fought in Vietnam for our freedom. Okay, so stop.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways, media.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so just stop that nonsense. And two, it's not true. Okay, my uncle served during Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to Vietnam. He joined around the same time Nathan Phillips did. So he didn't see combat. But, you know, I guess I could spin it and be like, well, he was in the Marines during Vietnam. Well, that if I say it like that, I'm implying something. And this is the game that's now being played. Well, nothing was said. Yes, but it was implied. Okay, but you can't read intent. Well, really? Really? That's all we do anymore as a society is love to read intent. Words don't mean what the words that come out of someone's mouth don't mean what they want them to mean. They mean what you think they intended to really say.
Yeah. What could this kid have done in that situation and come out looking like a good guy, right?
Yeah, or the hat. I really think that's what most of this is about, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. If he started getting into it and started dancing with the guy, like, okay, is this what we're doing? Then he'd be, oh, look at him mocking Native American culture.
Cultural appropriation.
Hey, can I ask this?
Right?
Can I ask this question?
What's that?
It's contrarian in me. I haven't heard it brought up much. How come if you, like, disagree with or attack David Hogg, you're a war criminal, but this kid's fair game?
Because of the MAGA hat.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
all. It's a.
I just want someone else to validate my thought on that.
It's a fair point because it was brought up by someone who said, you know, remember when everybody was like, you can't criticize David Hogg and that bunch because they're children and children are off limits. It's the same thing that we went through when Bill Clinton was elected president and Rush Limbaugh started attacking Chelsea Clinton's looks. And the left lost their mind and said, how dare you? She's just a child. Leave her out of this. And then, you know, the whole Barron Trump, you know, showing off his on the spectrumness, you know, on election night.
Where's that kid been for 2 years?
Hidden. Well, he should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just all there is to it. And the left attacked the kid, and then the right got out. Oh, you can't attack a kid. Get the fuck out of here. He's in the public eye. He's fair game. Sorry.
Trump's got him working the banana stand till this whole thing blows over.
He's in some private school in Switzerland,
Like,
surrounded by good white people.
We had saw Chelsea several times within the first 2 years. Where the fuck is this kid at?
Well, that's because also, let's be honest, the Clintons are shameless self-promoters of the Clinton name. Because, you know, Hillary knew she was going to attempt to make a career in politics at some point. Trump is just a narcissist. He's like, no, everybody else, fuck off. I'm in the spotlight.
Last time we seen this kid he was rubbing his eyes on, 3 a.m. on November 9th. Like, can I go to fucking bed yet?
No, he looked like he wanted to go back and play some more Call of Duty. Like, I don't want to be here. What the fuck is this shit?
Right.
Give a fuck about this.
Well, Dad got a new job. Great. I'm not killing any zombies.
I can understand what this Sandman kid did to piss off people, right? I mean, like you said, wearing the hat, and he had the smirk and everything, and let's face it, he looks like a shit. I mean, I sympathize with him when I saw him, but I also recognized him as a shit. And he probably is. He probably is. But look,
I went to a Catholic high school for a year, dude. All those kids are fucking assholes.
Right.
That's why I left.
Cross. That's like whatever. So, but what did he do to make it deserving of like trying to dox this guy? I understand
wrong time. He's white wearing a MAGA hat.
When there's video footage going around of like somebody, threatening somebody else or harming somebody else, yeah, I can understand. I don't necessarily condone doxing, but it's going to happen anyway, and this is maybe a case where it can do some good. But this is why we can't have nice things. Like, we don't know how to use anything responsibly.
He's become a symbol for white privilege.
Right? We figure out that, hey, you can just call the cops on people and say that there's a hostage situation or a bomb threat there and the SWAT team shows up. Oh, I'll do that for everything.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and condone doxing because it never just ends with let's put their information out in the public. There's always one asshole who's got to go above and beyond and take it further, and it turns into what you're talking about, swatting or whatever.
It turns into death threats. I mean, this kid got death threats because he wore a hat and had a shitty smirk.
Unabashed people on their legit blue check mark Twitter account calling for physical violence against this kid. Mm-hmm. Like one comedy writer who, first of all, the bitch she opened her fucking cock holster at the wrong time because she's been throwing out there that I'm a contributing writer for SNL. No, you're not, bitch. To the point where the producer of SNL came out and said, she doesn't and never has worked for us. She's a fucking liar, period. She's like, oh, I'll suck anyone's dick who punches this fucking kid in his face. Really? Really? So, okay. So, I mean, but we all know if it was the reverse, oh, shit. If that was Ann Coulter that said that, about some liberal little snot with a smirk on their face and a I'm with her hat or a pussy hat on, oh, shit. That'd have been
Well, that would be a perfect example of how the right trades in violence.
Exactly. This is horseshoe theory. You become what you hate. These people are flip. Yes. And I'm not talking everybody. I'm talking
the extremists.
Yes. And the problem is they're the loudest. And this is the problem with being so dismissive of people going, oh, it's just Twitter outrage. It's just a small group of very vocal people. Yeah, to start. And then they get a bunch of supporters. Here's the problem. People see these people do this shit and get away with it, and they're not losing their jobs. Their careers are not over, okay? And that emboldens other people to start doing the same shit. Mm-hmm. And it grows your group of morons.
Well, there's another problem that we need to address.
And it adds to the one-upping. I mean, that's how this happens.
We need to stop making Twitter news.
Yes.
Like the fact that we need to stop putting in the news that a handful of assholes on Twitter had an emotion because it's going to fill time in the news cycle. Like, people having a reaction to something is not news, but we make it news.
It's also the wording that's used. And Twitter exploded. Okay, well, that implies that that's all of Twitter is, like, burning right now. Well, because, no, it's the very vocal assholes who ruin. It's the people who ruin everything for everybody else. You nailed it on the head, Aaron. This is why we can't have nice things. You're the assholes who, ruined smoking sections in schools. When we were kids, there was a smoking section. You know what I'm saying? And there's always that one asshole who has to walk into the school with a lit cigarette and push it. Oh, I'm edgy. And then, okay, no more smoking on school grounds. Period. End of story.
True. When I was in college, community college, there was, at the end of the 90s, there was, those older classrooms where some of the desks still were not, they're still hanging around from the 70s. It had the ashtray in them. Reminiscent of like shit you'd see in the bowling alley.
It's always that one dude who's got to go one step too far.
Well, yeah, but it's a series of steps. Like, it's a competition, right? Somebody's like, I hate this kid with the MAGA hat. And someone else is like, I hate him more. I hate him the most. I want to see him dead. It's
stupid. It's dumb.
It's also
not productive.
It's a shortcut to not thinking. Like, they're not thinking in the first place, but that's not good enough. Now we want a shortcut to not thinking. It's too hard to not think. Meaning, like, okay, case in point. I talked to my brother, and I brought up Jordan Peterson, my brother, a handful of times. Not in any type of aspect of, like, hero worship. Just to be completely honest with you, the clips I shared with him were his, because he's a psychiatrist, and he gave a lecture on developmental psychology and addiction, and there were two separate lectures he gave. I sent him those lectures, and all of a sudden, he now thinks whatever comes out of Jordan Peterson's mouth, I look at as the word of God. He's like, so your boy? I'm like, my boy? I'm not saying his praises. I'm not saying he's infallible, And he's like, well, And I mean, he went hard. He went like for a week on a digging exposition and was like, I unearthed all this about him. He's wrong about this. He's wrong about this. He's wrong about this. He's wrong about this. And I'm like, oh yeah, guess what? He's human. He fucks up. He says dumb shit.
Right.
But that doesn't change the fact that I'm not defending that stuff. Yeah. And I'm not really defending anything. I'm just saying I agree with his take on addiction and parts of his take that I've heard so far on developmental psychology. I've never taken one of the man's classes. I can't tell you the majority of his thoughts, but the lectures that I did share with my brother, I was like, I agree with. And here's the thing. He goes, yeah, I just kind of skimmed through them. Yeah, because it wasn't the stuff that was outraging you. It wasn't the stuff that was hitting your lizard brain and making you go, I got to call my brother and tell him he's wrong. Because look out. No, I'm sorry, honey. I don't have time to be a boyfriend. Someone's wrong. I have to correct them. You know what I'm saying? That's what this shit is. You know, it's like the old memes. Sorry, Mom, I can't come to breakfast. Someone's wrong on the internet. You know, that's what this shit is.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
At Jewelers Mutual, we're a little obsessed with jewelry. Obsessed like auctioneers with talking fast.
50, we're gonna fit sold.
Pop stars with auto-tune. And dentists with asking questions.
So, how did he propose?
After they've put their hands in your mouth.
Great.
Yes, we've made jewelry our obsession for over 100 years. We love it so much we named our kids Ruby, Amber, and Opal.
Venti soy latte for Opal?
At Jewelers Mutual, we insure jewelry and only jewelry, which is why people who are also obsessed with jewelry trust us with theirs.
If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Unregimented.
We have this need to find people that we think have the answers to everything, right? Nobody's going to have the answers to everything. That's why there's so many fucking people, right? Because we need to work together to figure shit out most times. And this idea that Jordan Peterson might say or represent some things that you don't agree with, so that means that everything that he says is wrong. And Malcolm Gladwell puts out one story that, actually fact checks and you agree with, and now, everything that comes out of his mouth is gospel. And I don't understand this. We used to just have experts, right? We'd have experts like, I don't know, Dr. Ruth. She's an expert on sex, and we'd ask her questions about sex, right? But now it's like if Dr. Ruth were doing a radio show now, we'd have to figure out her opinion on Trump, and that would.
Well, first of all, we'd have to investigate how she came here. All right.
Yeah. Is she undocumented?
Yeah. Did she come here the right way, quote unquote?
And then we'd have to do the old Sam Kinison bit. We'd have to actually vet her on. You take the man's penis. Bitch, when's the last time you saw a man's penis? The first time you sucked dick, was it on horseback, Annie Oakley? You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
You'd heard of this new thing called fellatio? Thought you might give it a whirl?
But you're absolutely right. And it's maddening, but at the same time, it makes it real easy to spot the morons. It really does.
Does it?
I mean, I'm just like, wait, you expect anybody on this planet? The only reason, arguably, that we are where we are on this planet is because we have opposable thumbs and we develop consciousness. Mm-hmm. And you expect those two mistakes of nature. You expect of the 7 billion of us mistakes walking around right now. You expect one person to have the answers for everything and to be right on every subject. But it just so happens for them to have the answers to everything and be right on every subject means they have to answer the questions you ask, and you have to agree with everything they say. And that's horse shit. That is religious zealotry. That's where we get deities from. You know, I mean, I read these people are, you know, like my brother is an atheist, but he's looking for like a Jesus. He's looking for a Christ figure, really.
Dude, it's all I think we talked about it a lot with Todd. It's all religion. It's just a different dogma.
Like that's horrible. This is like somebody coming up to you saying, I've never smoked before. What brand should I start with? Like, no, don't start at all. What are you doing? Why does he need Jesus?
Right.
Well, you know, it's one of the things that I'm starting to really bristle at is when I'm having a conversation or a debate with somebody and they go, "Where'd you hear that from?" Wait, what? I have to hear something? I can't have any thoughts of my own on a subject? I had to watch something online, or I had to read an article.
Right. That's treating you like a kid. You know, that's what you do when your kid comes home and says something weird, and you're like, "Where'd you hear that shit from?"
Yeah, I'm a 42-year-old fucking man. You know what I'm saying? Suck my ass, motherfucker. That's where I heard it from. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry. I may not, you know, have a cure for cancer buried in this fucking
right
malted hops clogged brain of mine, but you know what? I do have an original thought once in a while.
Yeah, and that's just a lazy way to try and disprove somebody, right? I'm not going to go out and research it myself and see, well, Rich said this. I wonder if there's any basis in that. Let's do some research and find out. Or I could just challenge him to produce the stories that back up his claim so that I can discredit those. That's a quicker route. Plus, I get the short-term gain of just, you know, feeling superior because you can't back up what you say, so I must be right. Well,
I think this story also shows something that we're way too comfortable doing these days, which is being very dismissive. The minute we hear something we don't like, we're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, back to my point. The point I was trying to make. I don't care about the point you're trying to make. Whatever, that's stupid. No, Stop it. If you want me to take your feelings and your viewpoint of the world into consideration, then you're going to do the same for me, or else we're not having a conversation. I'm not going to be dismissed out of pocket just because you don't agree with something I say. Now, if I say something stupid like the world is flat, then you know you're dealing with an idiot. There's no point in having this conversation.
Yeah, so there's certain stances that you can extrapolate on and just go, no, this person's just a flat out idiot.
Yeah.
I think white people are far genetically superior.
Like if I'm having a conversation with a doctor who wants to operate on me and I find out that he's religious, I'm not going to go, whoa, you know, what else is going on in that crazy brain? He believes there's a guy up in the sky with like a beard and lightning bolt. Like, what the fuck is that? No, like that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Now, yeah, if he tells me that God personally like speaks to him and communicates with him and directs him, then I'm going to go, no, maybe we have a crazy person here who I don't want anywhere near my body.
On you?
Right.
Well, I mean, case in point, there's not much I agree with the man on politically, but Ben Carson was considered one of the top neurosurgeons in the entire world at one point.
That's
okay.
Scary to me.
But here's the thing. If I needed him to operate on me, would I, at his peak, would I trust him? Yes. Would I ask him about his opinions about the fucking pyramids? No, because he thinks they were grain silos.
Right.
Okay? Like, you can be the best at something and be a complete idiot about other things.
Do you guys ever see the clip where he was looking for his luggage?
Oh God, no. And
well, no, a reporter was asking him a question or something, and he was and his answer was like, "I'm looking for my luggage," and he was like shouting out to someone who had just dropped him off, like trying to get his luggage.
Carson is probably on the spectrum, honestly.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Right, I wouldn't either.
I mean, oh shit, what is it? What is the really well-produced NPR podcast or show? Is it Radiolab? Is that what I'm thinking of?
That's one of them, yeah.
Okay. Radiolab did a a show.
Said that one NPR podcast, by the way.
Well,
the top 10. It's like 7 of them.
Well, yeah, tell me what it was, and I've probably heard it. I've heard every Radiolab episode.
They were talking about sociopaths and how people tend to think of the Hollywood version of a sociopath, and they were talking about a psychiatrist was, or a psychologist was. He was a professor, and he was teaching about sociopaths, and he realized, oh shit, I am one. And they started talking about how.
Yeah, I've heard that episode. That's
okay, and how like people like surgeons, that could be a plus for them to be
detached.
Yes, because it's just they don't look at the human body as, oh my God, this motherfucker's bleeding all over the place, and I got to move his intestines, and that's disgusting. They look at it as, this is a broken machine, and I need to fix these parts.
Yeah.
It's not a human, and they're not getting, they're not going in. They're not going to be like, oh, the sight of blood, and swoon and faint and all that shit.
Didn't Turret explain it like that to JD?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Now that I think about it, in Scrubs, he did break it down like that, didn't he? He said, I just look at the human body as like a mechanic looks at a car. If this part's bad, I need to take it out and replace it, or take it out and find a workaround for it. But I mean, at the same time, that person. They may be a horrible father, a horrible husband, a horrible friend, but they could be an amazing life-saving surgeon. It's possible to be two things at once, and I think I don't know if it's because of religion. I don't know if it's because of just Western culture, about how, like, in other cultures, a tree can be straight and crooked. It's possible to be two different things at once. And it seems like in our culture, we really, we shun that. Like, no, you either are good or bad.
Right. You have to embody everything, or else we can't accept anything from you.
Exactly. You either wear the white hat or you wear the black hat, and that's just how it is.
No gray hats allowed. Them gray hats out of here.
Exactly. And when this story broke, the whole Nathan Phillips MAGA kid story broke, I rolled my eyes so hard. I was just like, oh God, here we go. And then I saw something that gave me a faint glint of hope. I started seeing people reverse themselves online, high-profile people who had printed articles or had published articles or had posted, social media opinions about the situation, start to reverse themselves and go, I let my feelings get in the way of the facts. Mm-hmm. And that's all I ask. That's all I ask from people. Look, I understand the minute you see something, you're going to have a gut reaction to it, a gut feeling to it. Now get over that. Now let's look at the facts. Put your gut reaction aside, and let's look at the facts and look at the whole picture. And then, well, society did what it always does. Then the but people came out. And they were like, yeah, but this kid was smirking. And be able to smirk in the face of a Native American is white privilege.
What's it? The chick from the reporter from the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie's getting a pile of shit for interviewing him and softballing him. First of all, he's like, what is he, 17?
Softballing of like
she's a 40-something.
Somebody needs to really put
journalist.
This little shit.
She's a 40-something seasoned journalist who has to interview
on television.
Has to interview a high school junior. Of course you're gonna fucking softball him. You're 30 years older than him.
Oh my God.
What are you gonna bring, the hard-hitting questions for the high school junior?
So when you jerk off to porn, what kind is it? We looked at your Google search history. Would your parents and Jesus be upset if they saw that? Yeah, probably.
And it's the Today Show. It's like the king. It's like that's their bread and butter. Softball questions.
Well, first of all, if she'd have started hitting them with, so did you even think about how much white privilege you were showing when you got in the face of that Native American? He could have been like, I don't know, probably about as much as you guys here at NBC thought about Matt Lauer when he was given sex toys as Christmas presents. Probably about as much thought as you gave that. Yeah. So, you really want to go down this road, bitch?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're challenging the idea that this kid is he and his behavior are being normalized by being interviewed on on a news program, right? That it's validating him in some way, and that's wrong because
doing nothing?
he's wrong, right? Well, that's the thing. Like, liberals truly believe that I don't know, but like this is normal, right?
For a teenager to be an idiot, yeah,
right. Like, you can't.
I excelled at it.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
But also, whatever he believes, he has probably millions of people in this country that believe the same thing. You know, right or wrong, they're in this country, and we have to learn how to deal with that.
What was it? The MAGA hats, the new white hood.
Like, keeping these people off the news. I'm not saying that putting them on the news is the answer, but certainly keeping them out of the news because you disagree with them isn't the answer.
But the problem is that this is because we've had over 20 years now of kids at universities getting away with pulling the power, pulling fire alarms when speakers that they don't agree with, standing up and screaming at the top of their lungs so, you know, guest speakers at their college they don't agree with can't be heard. And they go, that's right, because I have the right to do this because they're wrong. Well,
yeah.
What the fuck happened to let daylight be the best disinfectant for bad ideas? Let these idiots say what the fuck they got to say, and let's get it out in the open. That way we can all go, okay, now can we agree this person's an idiot? But this is, you know what it is? Here's the thing. If you're so fucking sure you're right, you wouldn't be so scared of these dissenting opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that these people that are so far on the right and so far on the left know deep down that they're full of shit. That the world doesn't exist in their left, right, wrong, 1-2 binary world. That it's just like sexuality. It's on a spectrum. There's a whole lot of middle ground. And they're terrified of it because I don't like that. I don't like the fact that there's people running around that think that white people are superior to black people. Well, you're not going to change their mind. And you're definitely not going to change their mind by using tactics that are just going to get them go, you know what? I must be right because you're trying so hard to shut me up. One of the best quotes I ever heard when I was a kid was from Stephen King. He was giving a speech in Virginia Beach during Banned Book Week. And he said, children, the minute a group of adults tell you not to read a book, run. Don't walk to your local library. Run. Don't walk to your local bookstore. Check that book out. Buy that book because that's the book you need to read.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to keep shit from you. All right? And it has never failed that when someone tries so hard to repress someone else's opinion, that it's because of their own insecurities. I mean, well,
it ends up blowing up in their face like it did with Trump. I mean, Trump is the result of denying the existence of a good portion of this country, or at least saying that their opinion isn't valid.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The dismissiveness. Trump is a reaction to the dismissive. Oh, your life is so hard as a white male in America. Yeah, bitch, I live in the Ozarks. Yeah. I don't even have indoor plumbing.
It's the reaction to throwing out racist to everything.
You know, it's that white guilt. Everybody, look, have white people done fucked up shit to other fucking ethnicities in the history of the world? Fuck yes.
We got documentation.
I'm never going to argue against that. But that you try to ride that for too long, too hard, and you're going to run into people who go, you know what? Fuck you. I've done nothing to you personally. And yet I am held responsible for everything that someone who shared a skin tone with me has ever done in the history of the recorded history of the world. Yet when I look at FBI crime statistics, I'm not supposed to go, well, you know, black people commit more crime than white people. No, it's a socioeconomic, which is true. But you see what I'm saying? Like, the same things they criticize people for like white people for whatever, straight people, whatever it is. Those groups do themselves. They do it themselves. You are just as guilty. The difference is in today's world right now, as we sit in 2019, it's not okay to call them on their bullshit. And I don't want to go back to the 1950s. You know what I want? I want to call everybody on everybody's bullshit. I want us all to be accountable. That's all I want. I want to be able to look at you and go, you're full of shit. And don't hide behind, oh, well, I'm black, so I don't give a fuck.
Hide behind ist.
Yeah, don't hide behind some bullshit. There's real racism out here, and you are you are making it trivial with your bullshit, with your nonsense. Like, you remember when Mike Vick got busted for the dog fighting and all the shit he was doing with dogs? So many people came out. Anyone who attacked Mike Vick for, drowning dogs, electrocuting them to death, torturing them and shit, racist. There was a group of people who'd run around going, racist. Al Sharpton was one of them. That's just it's because it's a black man. No, it's because they're animal lovers. Do you think if that was fucking Cletus that they would give him a pass because he's white? The fuck out of here. No, not the people I know that were pissed off about it, because the people that I know that were pissed off about it are the type of people that would walk past a dying child to save a little kitten. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were the type of people that were upset. But no, it's because you're racist. I can't be upset because he tortured animals. It's got to be about race somehow? Come on, man. I mean, I know that's bullshit.
I'm sure there are legitimately racist people whose reaction was, well, there you go. What do you expect?
Well, that's what Negroes do. You know?
Right.
Yeah,
this is what they do. So, yeah, there certainly is going to be racist reaction from racists that exist in this country. But the idea that nobody can criticize him on it without being slandered as a racist is ridiculous.
And we all know it. It's easier just to let it go. It really is. And here's the thing. It's become cool to be like, it's call out culture has become just American culture at this point. It's no longer its own thing. It's just call out culture is part of American culture at this point in time in our history. And we love doing it. We love doing it. Like, I talk with my friends who I see get into these political sniping back and forth, snotty remarks for people online. And I go, why do you do that? Because you don't have the balls to do it to their face. You would not say 1/10 of the shit you say to these people if they were standing in front of you. Maybe you need to start looking at online as, would I say this to their fucking face? And then, it gets worse when they start, profile stalking you, and they start pulling look at this picture. He's got his mouth open. He's smiling funny. He looks like an inbred cocksucker. Look at him. And I'm like, would you do that shit if they were standing there? No. Why not? I'd get my ass kicked. Exactly. So you're a fucking pussy. That's what you are. So either deal with what you are, a pussy who wouldn't say this shit to someone's face, or understand there's no point in this unless I'm just looking to pick a fight. And I mean, there's plenty of people. Look, if you want to pick a fight, there are plenty of opportunities to do so online. I think we just need to create a social media
Thunderdome.
Yes,
in that Twitter.
I don't know. I'm not really on Twitter, but yeah. I mean, but seriously, just you want to go and you want to be ruthless.
God, the purpose isn't it 4chan?
The Chans are, man, they got taken over by a lot of hardcore right wingers, and I don't even go very much anymore because I'm like, I don't know if I click on this if I'm gonna be on some sort of watch list. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a cesspool, man. Especially you go to 8chan. It's just fuck the Jews. Jews are doing all this shit and blah 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 blah, and and these she-boons and baboons, and I'm just like, wow, this is just straight up white power propaganda. It's not masked, it's not dog whistle whatsoever. It's fuck a dog whistle. They grabbed a bullhorn.
They had a real whistle.
Yeah, they grabbed a bullhorn.
They're blowing it into a bullhorn.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I get it. If you're doing it and you realize you're doing it just to be an asshole, as long as you understand that. But the problem is that I talk to some people who go, man, I'm doing for lack of a better way of putting it, they're like, I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm changing people's minds. No, you're not. You're just making them dig their heels in deeper, man. And just be honest with yourself. That's all I ask. Just be honest with yourself.
You know what we need? You ever see that Monty Python skit, the argument sketch, where the man goes and seeking an argument?
You pay for an argument,
right? He has, but he tells him like there's a price per minute for the argument, and they negotiate everything, and then anyway. That's what we need is just offices in every city. There should just be offices where people can go to and just go have an argument with a random stranger and get it out of their system. They can go talk to somebody that's going to deny everything that they say, and they can scream bloody murder at them and call them an asshole and then move on.
It's what do you call it? It would be cathartic. Like get all of your, almost like scream therapy. Get it all out in one spot, and you can go on about your day.
I found the transcript from it, actually. It's just contradiction. No, it isn't. It is. It is not. You just contradicted me. No, I didn't. You did. No.
Still, that's too polite. That's that British argument. That's just too polite for us. We need, there's not enough.
Ours to start with bitch.
Well, he does eventually tell him to, just shut up.
Ooh, well, oh. And did he go, well, bully for you, governor?
Yeah, he's with the salty language.
Good day,
shut
sir.
Up.
I said good day.
Yeah. How dare you?
You have insulted my honor, sir.
Maybe I think that's a good use for artificial intelligence. I mean, there's already bots online on Twitter, right? I mean, some of them are just feeds that people know are being generated by bots that are just pulling like random stuff from other Twitter feeds and the news and shit and putting it together into nonsense that every once in a while seems to make some magical sense. But yeah, I think we should honestly just put out a bunch of arguing bots out onto Twitter, and people who like to argue on Twitter will find those bots and they'll be tied up with those activities and not bother the rest of the people.
Man, I say we need to go further. Yeah, the saying, is this the hill you want to die on? We need to start putting motherfuckers on top of that hill with like pistols at dawn. How much do you really believe in what you're saying? You ready to die for it? Because I bet you're going to see a lot of people go, you know what? It ain't that important, man. It's just,
On second thought, he is my president.
Well, no, I mean, I know you're joking, but I don't want to see anything that restricts anybody's speech. I think a little bit of white noise introduced into the system will help cover up a lot of the random noise that's already there, and maybe let the signal come to the surface.
Well, no, that's the problem. And that when you run into people like us,
there's Aaron with his positivity again.
We pose a problem to the way certain people think. Because look, like it or not, hate speech is protected speech according to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. Bottom line. And hate speech is not, let's go kill us a bunch of faggots and Negroes. That's inciting violence. Hate speech is, I don't want to live with a bunch of fucking queers and black folks. And so I'm going to go move to the middle of nowhere, Utah, and get my Randy Weaver on.
And the common reaction to that is, what right do you have to say that? And the answer is the same rights that you have.
Yes. Is it an opinion that I share? No. But just like it's yes, it's a cliched quote, but the First Amendment isn't there for speech you agree with, it's for speech you don't agree with. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Protected speech is, if you're not willing to fight for speech that you don't agree with, that doesn't break the law, then you're not for free speech. You're for speech that agrees with you. And I have no look. Do I agree with like the Nation of Islam, the Black Israelites, the I forget what do we call them? The HeBros. Yes. No, but you know what? Let them say what the fuck they got to say. Call me you You white devil, lice-infested, inbred, smell like a wet dog motherfucker. Okay, great, wonderful. I don't care. It did.
That's a good point, though, Rich. I didn't see anybody reporting, not to go back and retread this story with the Sandman kid again, but nobody reported on the fact that this was a gathering of people who had vastly different opinions, who exchanged some awful words with each other at some points, and nobody got punched.
Amazing how that could work, isn't it?
Right? That should be the fucking story, isn't it? If we're going to talk about this at all, like, here's an example of people vehemently disagreeing with each other and not punching each other. Everyone there was expressing themselves within the law and expressing their freedom. Even the people who were wrong, like the HeBros.
And once again, I'd like to point this out because, I mean, honestly, we all know if it was a group of like 5-6 Aryan Brotherhood people yelling that shit at a group of like black students,
that would have been the story.
But I'd like to point out that even though this hasn't been covered by most of the media, you notice there wasn't a lot of the HeBros. Okay, remember how like I kept saying
there's like a handful of them, right?
Yeah, the Unite the Right March 2 that happened, after the year after the first one, where all the shit popped off. And I said, hundreds of white supremacists. Right. No, it wasn't. It was like 30, 40 people.
How come all the footage of those guys was taken from like down low?
Yeah.
So that you couldn't see that there wasn't a lot of people behind them. So it looked like they were a bigger group than they were.
The one person who I give him credit for, even though he's kind of self-exiled himself from mainstream media, is Charlie LaDuff for calling out the media, calling bullshit on the media for that. He goes, you can look at the aerial shots. It's literally maybe 24 people, 3 at tops that are there. This is an insignificant amount of people against literally thousands of people in counter-protest.
Right. The story should have been America whittles its Nazi problem down to these few individuals. But instead we were shocked that there's still Nazis in this. I mean, did we think that Stan Lee wrote American History X? Like, I'm not saying that was like solely based on fact, but it was certainly based on the fact that there are Nazis in America.
Absolutely. I mean,
how did we forget this? Because they stopped going on Jerry Springer,
right?
We just thought they went away. Oh, they must have all died.
After they threw that chair at Geraldo, it's just not cool to be a Nazi, baby.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Curated by Kohl's latest collection is now available in select stores and at Kohls.com. For a limited time, shop unexpected new favorites like reusable drinkware from Corksicle and fun arts and crafts from UV. Warmy's heatable plush toys are perfect for little ones. Homesick handcrafted candles are a great gift to make anyone feel at home. And who doesn't love sweet treats from Candy Club? Shop Curated by Kohl's for these digital need-to-know brands and more. Tap the banner now or visit Kohls.com. Curated by Kohl's latest collection is now available in select stores and at Kohls.com. For a limited time, shop unexpected new favorites like reusable drinkware from Corksicle and fun arts and crafts from UV. Warmy's heatable plush toys are perfect for little ones. Homesick handcrafted candles are a great gift to make anyone feel at home. And who doesn't love sweet treats from Candy Club? Shop Curated by Kohl's for these digital need-to-know brands and more. Tap the banner now or visit Kohls.com.
As much as life has changed over the last year, you're still pretty busy. So consider convenient COVID-19 testing from Quest. Get the same tests hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's a great fit for your busy life. With over 25 million COVID-19 tests processed, you can count on Quest. So order your test today at questcovid19.com.
ChristopherMedia.net. Unregimented.
haven't we all watched MSNBC after like 11 o'clock at night and seen the prison documentaries about the prison gangs?
Right.
And you know, the Aryan Brotherhood.
I've seen Oz.
You know, yeah, that shit, that is not, you know, Oz obviously is a fictional version amped up for high drama, but that is no bullshit, man. You go to prison, and if you want to preach that idea, you know, idealistic, you know, can't we all just get along shit, you're going to have a rough time in prison. Because that's not how prison politics work. And if you don't agree with it, oh, you can open your mouth. Most likely, eventually, someone's going to shove a cock in it, though. All right, so you better keep your mouth shut and your head down if you don't agree with the prison politics. It's just all there is to it.
Would I have to run with the Nazis because of my shaved head?
You better not.
If you went to jail?
You better not say anything about any Lebanese blood in you.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, damn it.
You better keep that. You better keep like.
Well, like Obama, I see the half you want to see, right?
Yeah, you either better get an iron cross tattoo or a turban. You got to go one way or the other,
right?
Yeah. Can you imagine Chris goes to prison, he comes out, he's all radicalized and shit. He's like, I put a caliphate on you, Rich. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
Like, are you really believing this shit? Well, it's better than sucking dick.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It was either, join with my Arabic brothers or take a dick in the ass. And I decided I don't have the constitution to take a dick in my ass. So.
Hey, you know what this is better than? Hey, you know what this is better than? Sucking a dick.
You know what? That's good. I'm going to remember that because anytime I'm faced with a horrible situation, I'm just going to be like, it's still better than sucking dick. I mean, I imagine.
It's all relative.
Well, here's the thing.
It's better than sucking a dick.
If you're not orientated to suck dick, most likely the dick sucking going on in prison is involuntary. You know what I'm saying? So that's
right.
If you're gay and you want to suck a dick,
that's it. What if you like sucking dick?
Yeah, well, that's not a problem.
You just change it to at least this is better than eating pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Or something. Take whatever you're not into.
I mean, sex isn't. Yeah, it's not. It's not the idea of sex. It's the idea of it's sex that I didn't want. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
but you know why it's the dick sucking that always comes up in this instance is because it's the one thing that everyone's convinced that nobody really likes, right?
What?
Nobody likes sucking dick. That's what we believe, and we believe that if you like sucking dick, it's only because your daddy didn't love you enough.
Well, then send them chicks my way.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No. I mean, the perception. Yeah, sure. But I mean, I've known chicks that were down there and like I had to dry my feet off because they were dripping wet. And I'm like, from sucking dick? Like this turns you on that much? I got to marry this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I'm not
no
saying,
way to answer this.
Me personally, I don't think, I don't personally believe that. I take, if someone tells me they really like sucking dick, I'm going to take them at their word and not go, who hurt you? But
right.
You're not going to Dr. Drew them?
Because I legitimately like eating pussy, I don't do it because I have to.
What'd the bad woman do to you? No, you like munching box.
Right.
Did your mommy not love you enough? And and here's the deal. No chick would care. She'd be like, good, I'm glad your mommy didn't love you. Now eat this pussy.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, only we would feel guilty. Like, oh, you like sucking dick? Oh, I'm taking advantage of someone who had an uncle with boundary issues. Fuck.
And it's also the issue of control, right? The idea that the man and whoever has the penis is the one in control because they are doing the penetrating. Like, look, you put a guy's dick in your mouth, you can get him to do whatever. And a woman's joystick is in her vagina. You can control that. You basically have her like on puppet strings.
I never understood that school of thought that you're sucking my dick, I have power over you, because she has 32 sharp reasons to remove your power if you piss her off at that moment.
Besides that, like Aaron said, when you are in process with fellatio, she has the power. You are a captive audience. The answer will be yes to whatever question you ask me right now.
Is your mother a whore? Yes, Lord.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Big hoe.
She's got her phone up on Amazon. Like, stop me. You better come soon. I'm going to cash out here.
Yeah, right.
The only reason my mama wears socks is to keep her ears warm. Yeah, she's a hoe. Like just crazy shit. I never now. Like, I get it with other forms of sex where there's a power dynamic, but I never understood that. Oh, I mean, like, if I look, it's good. This is going to come off like whatever, but. Like, I never, like, when I hear stories about, like, guys, whether it be in prison, raping another guy or a guy raping a woman, and it's like, yeah, he made, they made me suck his dick. It's like, how do you not just clamp down on that motherfucker, bite and tear? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you'll be the last dick that tries to get shoved in your mouth. Or they're going to bust all your teeth out. So
right.
You know what I'm saying? So... But I mean, still, it's like, I'm not going to risk that. I mean, see, there's no way I can say this because it sounds like I'm empathizing with a rapist. Like, I'm not going to risk sticking my dick in someone's mouth. They'll bite it off. But, I mean,
I'm certainly not going to stick it in anyone's mouth that I don't believe fully wants it in there.
Exactly. Thank you. That's the best.
This has to be a reciprocal thing, or else I'm not
Rich, you don't want people to
it.
believe your motivation not to rape is teeth?
We're not playing Don't Break the Ice here. Like
listen, if it was for the teeth.
Like, that's why I only rape 80-year-old women with dentures. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Catch them after they go to bed and this shit's soaking in denture cream or whatever. Jesus Christ.
I've never gotten a cock gummed off.
I'd imagine that still hurt. That's bone underneath them gums. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can't feel good. It's just that's always threw me for a loop. The whole that's especially when you run into someone who's like, oh, it's disrespectful to suck dick. What? Wait, how is that disrespectful?
Oh, this date is over.
Check, please. And she needs one for her side. I need one for mine.
It's not going to work. Check, please. It's not going to work out. But she just ordered drinks. It's not going to work out. It's going to work out for me. I'm only buying one drink and I'm going home.
Yeah, I'll still give you a ride home. I won't make you walk. But yeah, there won't be any second date. No.
Yeah, don't even bother looking at the appetizers.
I could see that. I don't know if it would be a solid deal breaker. Like, I might stick around long enough to find out if you're not going to suck my dick, then who is? Right? Like, it's one thing to say. It's one thing to say,
what, her mom?
I'm never going to suck your dick.
Taking in her sister?
But if you're saying, you're going to be with me, I'm not going to suck your dick, and I'm not going to let your dick get sucked by anybody, then we have an issue, right? Because how can you... And it's not saying that, dick is that important to me, but do I want to be in a relationship knowing that I will never have a blowjob, ever? No, who wants that?
Instead of a blood boy, it's like a dick girl.
Oh, God.
Or it's a substitution. All right, well, this is the part where you can... How does that work?
You
give her a pager?
This may come off creepy, me talking about this, but honestly, this is coming from the romantic side of me because I'm looking for somebody to spend the rest of my life with. And if they're not going to suck dick for my whole life, then I don't want to spend that life with them, right?
Yeah. It's that life you want to be a part of.
That's not a compatible mate for me.
Not in Aaron's America.
But see, you know what? Hold on. Why is that? Why would people look at that and be like, oh, well, you sexist pig? When there's... How many women go, hey, do you want to be with a guy who's never going to do anything but wash dishes in a fucking restaurant the rest of his life? No. That's okay for them to say. Why is it not okay for us to say that about sucking dick?
I think here's why.
Why is it not okay to like things and dislike things? Because I like blowjobs. Getting them, that is.
There's the belief that the male orgasm just is what it is, right? If it's not going to happen in a vagina somewhere, it's going to happen.
It's happening
anyway, right?
Once that check's been mailed, it's getting...
And in that respect, if my male partner wants to get off, well, it's all the same to him and his dick if it happens in my vagina or in my mouth. But the only difference of him putting it in my mouth is that there's no benefit for me in my mouth, right? It's not a reciprocal, so now it becomes a power dynamic, right? So you could just fuck me, but no, you want a blowjob because you want to have power over me.
Well, if that's the way she sees it,
you never had a penis. You don't understand how awesome this feels. Please.
If that's the way a woman looks at it, then yeah, you are not the woman for me, because I don't look at it as I'm being dominated and subjugated and oppressed. If she's like,
it's a misunderstanding of the
orgasm. Her pussy.
In the same way that men don't understand how women orgasm, in that until they actually get with enough women to figure it out, that they're certainly not all built the same, and their erogenous zones are not always in the same locations. So, but in that same respect, women oversimplify the male orgasm, thinking that it is just that one thing. And it's not. There's a big difference between having an orgasm when you're masturbating and when you're having, like, I don't know, penis and vagina sex, actual intercourse. That's a whole different thing. And and getting a blowjob. Those are all different orgasms. Those are different experiences. They happen differently in your head. It's the same way as if a woman could have an orgasm from vaginal penetration and clitoral stimulation, or just tweaking her nipple. Those could be three vastly different experiences.
We get it. You know what you're doing, Aaron.
Well, no, he's right, because I've been with one woman who, she was fairly experienced. I mean, we're not talking like, she didn't have pro type numbers. Her team photo wasn't like an aerial shot.
But she give you a resume.
She can fill up a bench.
Yeah, about a basketball team. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Not a football team. Definitely not a college football team.
When you asked her, like, neighborhood, what are we talking here? Did she pull up a spreadsheet?
Yeah. But she was like, I've never had an orgasm through vaginal intercourse. The only time I've had an orgasm is through oral sex. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, does that mean you're not into vaginal intercourse? She goes, no, it feels good. I just... you're going to have to go down.
My money.
You're going to have to go down at some point. And I'm like, cool, fine, whatever. Then I've been with a chick who, oh, God bless this chick. And if there is a creator, thank you, whoever you are, for making women like this. Like, you could just blow on it. And she's, ugh. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is almost too easy. You know what I'm saying? She'd get hers almost instantly and then be like, okay, your turn. And I'm like, okay, I'm lazy. You know what I'm saying? I like this. This works. But that was my introduction, because these two women happen to be back to back to each other. And I was like,
wow, okay. you had two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, okay, so some women, and I was fairly young, and I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. Now I understand. And since then, I've, what do you like? What do you don't like? You got to be like the Weather Channel with me. I need constant updates until I get to know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know what you like. If I do something you don't like it, don't sit there and be like,
I'm like a comment card. Feedback is appreciated.
Yeah, I don't want you to be like, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be insecure if he thinks that he can't satisfy me. But speak up. Because believe me, if you start doing something to me if you come out the bathroom with a big, thick, veiny strap on, that ain't happening. And I'm going to let you know quick.
And the worst thing you can say is nothing.
Exactly. Just be honest. That's what it. Just let me know. Like, hey, I don't really like that. Okay. I dated a girl who did not like any tongue when she kissed. Only chick I've ever dated like that. And I was like, yeah, no tongue whatsoever. She did not like it. She thought it was gross. I don't know why. To be honest, we weren't together long enough for me to get into the minutia of why she didn't like it. But I was just like, okay.
Maybe she just didn't like your tongue.
Well, I mean, it could have been that also. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, that was mean.
No, it's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. I mean, there was a chick who I dated for a little bit who had a very, not disgusting, but a very strong odor. And I had to learn to work around it because you can't just say, like, hey, your pussy stink. We got to do something with this. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, hey, you want to take a shower?
That's not true love.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Finally asked you one day, what's the snorkel for?
Yeah, I got my my nuclear biological chemical warfare mop suit on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Look like a Marine in Desert Storm and shit. Like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for loving, baby. Come get some.
Where'd you get that? Lover's Lane?
Yeah, it was in the stank ass pussy department, bitch. That's where I got it. But no, so maybe she's just like, I don't like the way. She told me flat out, she's like, I've never really been into French kissing. And I was like, okay, I'm here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. I don't need a very long explanation here. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I don't need to sit you on the couch and Dr. Melfi your ass. I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no problem. I put it in the don't column. Now let's fill up the do column.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Okay, oral, yes. Okay, anal.
Here's my
yes. All right.
Like tongue kissing. Yeah. She must be horrible at giving head.
I don't know. She was the only chick I've ever met who kept her throat wide open during oral sex to the point where I would nut and it would just shoot down her throat, and she'd keep going because she's just like, my throat's wide open during oral sex. And I was like, how? I mean, and she proved it many times because it was like,
you contacted Vivid. There's a future in this.
That doesn't sound like a very good blowjob to me.
Let's be honest here. Like, if you want to get to the power dynamic of blowjobs, it is kind of hot when it's like, they gag a little bit. Like, yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's
a dick over air. That's how much you want to suck it.
Sure, I'll give you that, but just, there's got to be some other stuff going on. If it's just like, if it's all just gagging, then, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I could fuck a warm watermelon,
Well, we went right past apple pie into a warm water. Who warms up a watermelon?
Hey, no, now it's warm. Aaron did not specify. You just now it's warm because of you.
I said warm watermelon.
Oh, damn it.
No, he did, yeah.
Right.
Like who looks at a watermelon and goes, "Oh, it's going to be great once I put it in the microwave." Right? I've never once thought that looking at any melon, let alone a watermelon.
Put it in the microwave? This is a summertime thing. You let it mature outside in the sun.
Oh, thanks. Is that a pro tip?
You let your watermelon mature? Wait, that way you don't stack rape it? You gotta, let me see that ID, watermelon. Shit. Oh, God. Is this the high on episode? This is some high ass talk. This is what it is.
The last subject I have is the HeBros and shit. How did we even get to what the fuck we're talking about?
I don't know.
How did we get to fucking a warm watermelon?
This goes back to what Patrice O'Neill said. Men are stupid, but we're philosophical about our stupidity. This is a guy conversation. This is what this is. This is women. Any women listening? This is true locker room talk. This is what most average guys sit around and they talk about nonsense, and it's not rapey. It's not like I'm gonna grab her pussy and force myself on it. This is true locker room talk. This is what guys are like. We're dumb. We like to goof around, have fun, and then y'all show up like fire-breathing parrots and just, that's stupid, wah! And just ruin our fun, and just blowing fire all over it, and just, oh God. All right, well. So this is us. What happened on the last episode with Krisky, whatever the fuck her name is, 4.5 Mandy Moores? What happened with her?
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Curated by Kohl's latest collection is now available in select stores and at Kohls.com. For a limited time, shop unexpected new favorites like reusable drinkware from Corksicle and fun arts and crafts from UV. Warmy's heatable plush toys are perfect for little ones. Homesick handcrafted candles are a great gift to make anyone feel at home. And who doesn't love sweet treats from Candy Club? Shop Curated by Kohl's for these digital need-to-know brands and more. Tap the banner now or visit Kohls.com.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ChristopherMedia.net. Unregimented.
If we got time, one last subject I did want to bring up, because it's a subject that I am completely flabbergasted by, is there is a... I'm hesitant to look up on Google the details because of the age issue. Like if you put in...
Is this Google, a photo that you're telling us about?
Yeah, if you put in like 10-year-old trans child into Google, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be like, hello, FBI. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, it's like right away.
So,
like, damn, I just hit enter. How are you at the door?
Like, that van down the street was really watching us the whole time. I wasn't paranoid. But, no, it's, I'm not sure if the kid is 10. I know that much. I'm not sure if the child is trans or a cross-dresser. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm not down with the whole give your 10-year-old kid hormones type shit, whatever. We've had those conversations before.
But wait, I'm sure not everyone is familiar with this photo. Describe it first.
Well, the photo is of this kid who's either a 10-year-old crossdresser or trans, I'm not sure which one, with an adult drag queen fully naked. And I mean, like, this guy's penis is like inches removed away from this 10-year-old kid's body. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the edited, the blacked out Japanese porn version, the pixelated version.
Right.
I've not seen the unedited version because I imagine it's considered child pornography.
Also, you know what dicks look like, so.
Yeah. Either you got a hooded night or you got a cut crown. It's the two. And they just vary in size. That's it. But I'm just like, wait, hold on, time out. I get that we're supposed to be progressive and, my child was born in the wrong body. Okay, great, wonderful. Good for you. Fuck your kid's life up if you choose to do so. But how is this not child pornography? Because any other circumstance, I can't imagine this being okay. Besides, someone saying, well, the child's trans. So? It's the second word of that sentence. Does that not give you a big tip? The child. Why is a child posing with a nude adult? And it's being passed around social media and in certain circles of the LGBTQ whatever community as like, oh, this is so loving and wonderful. Really?
It's a child with a naked adult.
Well, there's a difference between, like, I'm all for letting your kids do what they want to do within reason. But there's a big difference between, I think, kids like this, their parents become a driving force behind that. It's one thing to say, I accept who you want to be, how you want to dress, and then to go like, oh yes, absolutely, you're trans, and to push them in that direction. I mean, when I was that kid's age, I wanted to be a fucking garbage man. My parents didn't go, oh yeah, we got to make sure that when you're 18, you got to apply and get that job as a garbage man.
And they damn sure weren't like telling the garbage man, come in and take nude photos with you.
They were just like, yeah, he's 10. He thinks he wants to be a garbage man.
Your dad didn't take you out
or
front
he does
and be like, hey, can you get a ride along?
And that doesn't mean that, like, there's plenty of people who are, trans or homosexual who know prepubescently that that's what they are. But that shouldn't be stifled. but it doesn't mean that whatever your kid declares is, they figured it out at an early age. No, they're still figuring it out. Let them figure it out. Pushing them in that direction is not letting them figure that out.
There's a lot of adults who don't realize
propping
they're the
them
adult
up
in the
as
relationship.
Some kind of trophy of look at how I'm so progressive that I produced the most progressive kid on the planet. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
I'm so woke. Look at my woke kid.
Instead of letting this prepubescent child figure out on their own how they feel about all kinds of shit, I don't know. I didn't mean to.
It's like your little trophy of wokeness.
But this.
Well, no, it's probably a good.
Why is this guy naked? Is there any reasonable explanation for why this guy is naked in this photo?
I know that I have a family member who shared an article about the story. I am furiously scrolling their social media to find this story because I am not putting that into the Google search. I'm just not. Yeah. So give me a sec.
I ain't looking that up. Sorry, guys.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, okay, here we go.
I just want to hear somebody's reasoning for why this person is naked. Because there is no good reason.
Okay, this kid is Desmond Napolis. He goes by Desmond is Amazing.
Is that his full name?
Well, that's his. That's
a YouTube star.
I think he has a. Okay, when I say I think he has a blog, I think what it is his parents probably have one. You know what? Fuck it. If the FBI show up for me looking up Desmond is Amazing, DesmondIsAmazing.com is a performer, drag kid, awarded LGBTQ advocate, outspoken gay youth, editorial model, public speaker, founder of his own drag house, fashion designer, muse, and icon. More importantly, he is an inspiration to many and a representation of hope for the future to come. That's from Desmond Napoles, Napoles.
Okay.
That's his website.
A 10-year-old wrote that. Is this the illusion we're all going to participate in?
Okay.
Apparently
he did a. I
just want to get this clear.
He did a.
He's on a Today Show.
Wig wearing version of a Gwen Stefani song.
Mm-hmm.
He's performed late night at both the $3 Bill, a gay club in Brooklyn, New York, and a similar bar in San Francisco.
All right.
So, I guess because he's so young that this is hey, look at this kid and he's comfortable, with himself. Apparently, another little fun fact, this kid was never pre-gay because apparently he went to kindergarten and he announced he was openly gay.
In kindergarten.
So, his mother has revealed that Desmond has autism. This created public concern for the child, whose Republican parents included a spot on a YouTube talk show hosted by former Kid Club and Michael Allig. I don't know who that is. It's a pretty safe article. It doesn't really say why the need for that kid to be taken. A picture of that kid needed to be taken with a grown man who's naked. Like I said, it's a subject you got to be very careful when searching on. I'm okay. Let me play devil's advocate. Let me play devil's advocate.
Google search right now is we're at a line here. We're treading. It says Desmond Napoles picture naked man. I'm hesitant to hit enter.
You've already typed it.
I know, right?
It's too late.
Damn it.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. And maybe he was at a gay club. They were backstage changing for a performance, and someone who doesn't have two brain cells to rub together decided, let me take a picture of this kid and another performer, and who happened to be in middle of a costume change. Still.
Wait, no, it's not about this kid seeing an adult dick that bothers me. I mean, if this kid was straight and he went to the YMCA with his dad, he's going to see some dick. It's so what? It's just why take the picture? If somebody burst into the changing room in the YMCA, it was like, hey, let me get a father and son picture of you two. would hope that father would be like, get the fuck out of here, you pervert.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fucking naked. And yeah, okay, he's going to be backstage. He's doing these events. People are changing. He's going to see naked bodies. Maybe they thought it was funny.
I don't know. I just know that, a friend of mine posted the Pulitzer Prize winning photo of the little girl running away from a village in Vietnam that had been napalmed. And I mean, that's a picture that has historical significance. There is nothing sexual about that picture. I mean, I guess if you're wired correctly, I don't know. I don't know how anyone could look at that picture of that burned up child running away for her life and think, oh, that's hot.
I don't know either, but let's just face facts. Any picture on the internet has been masturbated to.
Yeah, Rule 34 does apply. But he got a 30-day ban from Facebook for posting that because it violated their terms of service as far as child pornography. And it's like, okay, so that picture's a bridge too far, but taking a picture and plashing it all over the internet of a grown man's dick within inches of a child, we're going to act like because these people are part of the LGBTQ community that there's not going to be sickos out there that are going to get off on it? If there's sickos that are going to get off on a 11, 10-year-old, however old she was, girl that had been napalmed, you don't think that there's going to be someone pounding away furiously at this picture? And second of all, why the fuck are the parents not being investigated at the very least by Child Protective Services or whatever the version of that is in their state? Because it's, different names, different states.
Right.
I mean, come on now. How do you let that picture go on the internet and not be like, what the fuck are you doing?
If that dude in the picture was diddling the kid, there's no way he's getting his picture taken with him like that, right?
You'd hope.
I think to me, the fact that he was willing to have a picture of himself taken naked next to this kid means there's absolutely nothing going on.
Rich, is this the picture?
What?
I sent you guys a link.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's the Daily Wire. It's something you've been to. Because this picture is not this Desmond Nepos or whatever. It's some, but it's some.
No, this is a guy who looks like he's tucking.
But no, this is a child drag queen from Canada. With the naked winner of RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's not the picture I saw because this.
Wow, so this is a thing then. Like, what the
fuck? Right? I found more than one. And it's from like January. Here's one from
January 11th. Yeah, no, this is recently.
Oh well, there's another picture that's been removed. If you scroll down, it says it's an Instagram photo. This photo has been removed from Instagram. And then there's who is this? Hold on, Queen Latasha. It's not Queen Latifah. It's Queen Latasha.
Latricia.
Okay. Choose love, be proud, smash the patriarchy, and be kind to one another always. Except for those, those people that support the patriarchy. Don't be kind to them, but be kind to everyone else always. Yeah, okay.
So these are just Queen Lactatia. Lactacia.
I knew it had to be better than that.
The kid's drag queen name is that. That's not the adult. That is the kid's drag queen name, by the way. Queen Lactatia or whatever the hell. Latasha. It looks like Lactatia. I'm calling her Lactatia.
I think that's intentional. I mean, the drag names are supposed to be punny.
Yeah, them and vampires think puns are the highest form of fucking, according to True Blood at least. And apparently, according to True Blood, the whole percentage that are gay is way off from what we got, so because every vampire was gay in True Blood apparently, or bi or something. But yeah, But look,
when you're looking at living for potentially thousands of years, like,
I guess you get bored. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure guys would probably
maybe after 1,000 years.
That would be the next stop. But,
after 1,000 years, let's try a dick.
Look, I know this ain't going to be a popular sentiment, but this is whether or not it's intended to. This is going to feed into the fear of people who are like, look, this whole gay agenda thing is ultimately to lead to normalization of pedophilia.
And
you are not helping your cause.
No, absolutely. And in the same way that, like, we were talking about racism earlier, and like, there's just going to be certain things that, you know, racist people are going to think, you know, they're going to have their viewpoint, right? But when you're dealing with something like this, I think there's much more of, there's certainly people that are just dead set against homosexuality, cross-dressing, all of that stuff, right? These people that you're never going to change their mind. I think there's a lot of America that's kind of in the middle. It's like, well, you know, it doesn't seem that bad, and you know, let the kids do what they want to do. No one's really getting hurt. And then see this and go, oh, no, I don't want my kid to be any part of that. Well, so now if they tell me, hey, I might want to try wearing women's clothes, oh, fuck no, because we know where that leads. Well, next thing you know, they're at a drag show getting a picture taken with a naked man.
Well, because it does put the thing in your brain. Well, now it's just an excuse for weird adults to try to get naked around you. You know, does it click into that part of your parent brain? Perhaps, maybe guys who are parents.
Look, man, I'm
wondering. I'm asking a legitimate question. Like now, it's just adults. Weird. It's an excuse for weird adults to try to get naked around my kid.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I know one dude who. I mean, we're not close friends, but you know, we've traveled in the same circles for years and years, and you know, he dresses in drag and does drag shows and stuff. And as far as I know, I've never seen him even talk about like younger people. Like he is more of the, I believe he's in his 30s now, but he looks like he's in his early 20s. Like he hit the genetic lottery in that aspect. He looks good for his age. And he usually attracts the older gentleman, and that's what he's attracted to, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Judging by the pictures I've seen of the guys that he dates. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. And I do know that, you know, from conversations I've had with gay friends over the years, it's not unusual for, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, you know, kid who grew up in a, especially if they grew up in a repressive area where they weren't allowed to be themselves, like maybe, you know, the midder part of Michigan where the Michigan rednecks live and shit, that, you know, an older guy becomes their boyfriend and kind of takes them in and shows them the ropes of the community. Yeah, but that's not unheard of. But I mean,
I follow you. But what does this have to do with what we're talking about? I mean,
because to me, that's I don't. Is this guys who are drag queens who see kids who are wanting to go into that profession? I guess it's a profession now. I mean, I guess you can make a living doing it if you're good enough. I know there used to be whole shows in Vegas with nothing but drag queens. You know, is this like they're taking them under their wing and showing them the ropes, and it's not a sexual thing, and I'm just looking at it because I'm like, it's kind of
like an internship.
You know, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's a sexual thing at all.
I can't. It's one of those things. Like I can't, with a good conscience, co-sign on the entire situation. It's almost I have to know it on a case-by-case basis. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, I understand that it might sound like a cop-out, but I mean, I don't know. Would I be comfortable if, you know, my daughter was, you know, came to me at 10 and said, I'm trans and I'm going to dress as, you know, as a male because I feel like I was born in the wrong, you know, body. More power to you. I don't know if I'd be like cool with these pictures come out and, you know, her mother's posting them on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Because like, at the base of it, it's a child with an adult. Like just to break it down to its base form, like that might be the part that makes everybody uneasy. It's a child with an adult.
I get that. I get that we're in the, you know, the age of, you know,
wokeness.
Well, no, it's just, you know, I don't. How do I put this? We're in the age where people go, everything's different according to the individual. I understand that, and yeah, and truly, I mean, I've said this for years now that there's no greater minority than the individual because there's only one of a person, you know. And so on a case by case basis, okay, but the problem is we have to have standards in society. You can't take pictures of naked adults with children. You just can't do it. I'm sorry you want to, but you can't do it. I'm sorry. And I know it's not sexual, but you can't do it.
Imagine.
Don't put it on social media.
Imagine if this was a 10-year-old boy who identified as straight, who, let's say his father took him on spring break and took pictures with him with topless women.
Oh, shit. Well, he'd be in prison. He would never have any parental rights ever again.
That kid would be talking about the awesomest trip he ever went on.
I think it's the same thing. Like, I don't think anyone sees that picture and is like, wow, that attractive, busty, topless woman must have banged that 10-year-old. You know, you might recognize.
No, we just go a little like,
they're having fun. The kid likes boobs. All right, he's straight, whatever. But it's still not right.
Yeah, part of you is just like, yeah, that's.
Is it so wrong to have lines?
Of it. What'd you say?
Is it so wrong to have lines that we set up in society and go, you can't cross this line?
I until recently, I didn't think so, but apparently, I'm an old fuddy-duddy because I want things like boundaries.
I mean, it's not that I'm like, I'm not saying, oh, that kid shouldn't be allowed to be trans. Look,
put your pants on around a kid.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, and like, I get all the arguments for, well, if it's not perceived as sexual to the people in the picture and the people around in the situation, you have to trust their judgment. Okay, I get that, but I mean, we live in a society to where if you have, pictures of your 1-year-old child running around without a diaper on, you post them on Facebook, you could be labeled a pedophile and be put on a list. Yet shit like this, we just turn a blind eye towards. Why? Because, well, they're a marginalized community. So?
There's nothing sexual between me and my nieces and nephews. I always have pants on around them.
I mean, it's kind of like how my dad explained to me. When they were like, okay, when my parents were like, you got to start learning to take showers, I used to shower with my dad. And my dad said, and the minute that stopped is the first time I was washing my hair and you reached up and grabbed my dick. And he was like, that was it. No more showers with dad. Sorry. Like if I wasn't comfortable because I didn't, and there was nothing sexual about it. I don't even remember this. Apparently I was like 3.5. I don't know, but I don't know. It just,
you'll pull your pants off after Thanksgiving dinner. What? There's nothing sexual.
There has to
feel like wearing these.
There has to be lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be. And it's okay to have boundaries. And people that are telling you that, like, no, it's not sexual. Okay, I get that. But that there are people out there that are going to take a look at this and they're going to see it as a sliver of daylight. And they're going to stick a breaker bar in that door and try to pry it open. And then it becomes, well, I was born a pedophile. I'm a MAP. I'm a mature adult or mature attracted, whatever, and non-offending pedophile and blah, blah, blah. It's just the way I was born. Okay, well, you're born that way. It doesn't make it okay. You could be born with type 1 diabetes. If you don't take care of it, you die. If you're born wanting to fuck children and you fuck a child, you go to prison, period. And the thing is that I'm not even sure the people in the photo.
You mean your society with your rules?
The people
I'm telling you, that's coming.
The people in the photo might not look at it as sexual, but we know that there are people out there looking to jump on a chance to kick the door wide open. And it's NAMBLA is not just a South Park joke, folks. It's a fucking thing, okay? North American Man-Boy Love Association is a real group. That's not just a South Park joke. That right there should tell you there are people that don't know when to fucking stop, all right? Period. Like if you have, I don't know, if you have urges to kill people, but you don't, should you go to prison? No, you didn't act on those urges. If you have urges to fuck children and you don't, shouldn't go to prison. I wouldn't walk around announcing that I have those urges. You might not live very long or well, so you probably get your shit beat out of you quick, fast, and in a hurry. But you can't tell me that shit like this, those people are not going to try to go, see, like you said, Aaron, we are so worried about normalizing people like the MAGA bro by putting them on Today's Show and interviewing them. Mm-hmm. Well, where's the outrage about normalizing this? And why is it, if anyone shows any concern, not outrage, fuck outrage. I don't want your fake Twitter outrage. If anyone shows any concern about this, why is that hate? Why? That's not hate. That's asking why is there a child with a naked adult and a picture being passed around on the internet? End of story. I don't care that they're cross-dressers or trans or whatever the fuck. The point is, you don't do shit like this. You just don't.
I think we also need to
agreed.
Investigate into the harsh hate language used by the website. The phrase drag queen is all over this article.
Wait, what?
Are you not supposed to say drag queen anymore?
What the fuck are you supposed to say?
I don't know, but I've heard.
I don't know where you're getting that. That's an accepted term.
Yeah, drag queen is not trans. But there's someone who just likes to dress up.
It actually says nothing about a person's sexuality.
I think transvestite is probably frowned upon now, but drag queen? Come on, it's got the word queen in it.
Yes, transvestite is not an acceptable term. But
or transsexual. Is it? I don't.
No, transsexual. You can be transsexual.
Okay. But yeah, whatever the other one they didn't use in Rocky Horror in the song is now.
I think they used both.
Did they? I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
But no, dressing up in women's clothes and performing, like lip syncing to like Cher or Madonna or whatever the fuck. I mean, I understand to like middle America, Joe Sixpack, it's hard for them to really comprehend that doesn't make that person gay.
Right.
But well, there are also a lot of gay people who do dress and cross dress. So let's be honest.
There's a lot of being involved with any kind of theater or performance art or something where at times you're going to be in dressing rooms with the opposite sex and you're just going to have to deal with it, right?
Well, yeah, and usually those times are so hectic because you're trying to get back on stage. It's not like you got time to play grab ass back there. It's hurry up, change. Let's go.
Yeah. You're on a time crunch. You don't have time for privacy and modesty. So I can understand where this comes from, like why this man might be naked, but I can't understand why he stopped, either of these two men, stopped to make sure that they were photographed in that state.
Because because there's this.
And was it like I'm gonna take my clothes off?
No, it's because of the same reason.
We're gonna take a picture, or is it like, I happen to be naked? Hey, let's take a picture. That'll be funny. I have no idea where this comes from.
Because it's all tied to the same emotion of all that dumb shit last weekend with the Sandman and the HeBros. It's a chance. For some reason, the last few years, there's this competition on the internet to prove how woke you are, to prove how progressive you are. And I think this is rooted in that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny.
Look, it's my progressive kid.
Look
funny what I made.
It's funny you say that because I had a conversation with my brother about these kids who go through hormone therapy at very young ages. We're talking like 10, 11, 12, prepubescent children. And I was like, yeah, I'm not down with that. And he's like, why not? If they feel that they have body or gender dysmorphia, let them do what they want. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Because I did a lot of dumb shit when I was a kid that I could have fucked my life up with, and no one really tried to stop me. Hey, you roll the dice and take chances? Go ahead, knock yourself out. Then he goes,
kids call the shot. This will go great.
But then he goes, oh, so you don't give a fuck if they fuck up their life? And I'm like, stop trying to have it both ways. You can't tell me on one hand that I can't be concerned about the child's health, and then when I'm not concerned about the child's health, tell me, well, what an asshole you are because you're not concerned about the child's health. That's the wokeness competition that you're talking about. See, he's more woke than me. And I don't understand because I'm like, you are so wishy-washy. You don't even have a stance. Your stance is, let me be a contrarian. Where do you stand? I stand opposite of you. I'm like, that's not a stance. That's not an outlook. That's not a view on life. That's you being an asshole.
And it kind of goes with his age.
Well, you're closer to 30 than 20. Grow the fuck up a little bit. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know he don't listen to the podcast, and I've tried. I have begged him to be on the show. Well, I don't want to be on the show because what if I say something stupid? Well, you say stupid shit off the show all the time. I don't know. Did the world end? Have you listened to any of our shows? We say stupid shit all the time.
Yeah.
Does he have a girlfriend? Does he ever plan on getting married? Well, why bother asking her out? She might just, what if she says no? That's that attitude.
It's that, yeah.
You see jerking off.
You see, every scenario, you see 10 miles of bad road down, It's that Goodwill Hunting, Every scenario I throw out, you just see everything bad that can happen down the road. That's a great philosophy to go through life with, because then and believe me, I'm one of those people, and I've been paralyzed by fear to where I just don't make a decision. And indecisiveness is not a good place to be because you don't get shit done. You just stay static and stagnant.
Isn't his age group all about experiences? Have one.
Yeah.
You can't take a picture of this one. It's called an emotion.
No. All right. Well, if the blowjob and all that talk didn't trigger something in the NSA's shit, this last conversation did. So I expect all of us to get investigated here due to this episode.
How did we even get on talking about the blowjobs?
Sorry, it was my fault.
Because we're guys.
Right.
And on a long enough timeline, it all goes back to blowjobs.
It's true. Scientists, if you're listening, there's a new theory for you. Test it. Well, actually, it'd be a hypothesis first, right? Then you have to investigate it and turn it into a theory.
Yeah.
So, before the black vans roll up and come and take me, I'm just going to remind you that we are on the internets. For now. Who knows after this week? We are at Unregimented Pod on Twitter. We're on Facebook. You can email us on regimented@christophermedia.net. We are on Spotify now. We're on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, new shows every Saturday. We will catch you next week.
See ya.
Later, guys.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
Curated by Kohl's latest collection is now available in select stores and at Kohls.com. For a limited time, shop unexpected new favorites like reusable drinkware from Corksicle and fun arts and crafts from UV. Warmy's heatable plush toys are perfect for little ones. Homesick handcrafted candles are a great gift to make anyone feel at home. And who doesn't love sweet treats from Candy Club? Shop Curated by Kohl's for these digital need-to-know brands and more. Tap the banner now or visit Kohls.com.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.